All right, we're gonna get started here. in just a moment. We're going to continue with Amphorius' 3.0 story and Star Rail at first, and then we're going to look into playing the actual release of Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. And we're only starting this way just because I didn't have too much time to really advance the story the other night. So that's what we are going to do today. Alright, here we go. This is the mission I'm looking to jump into. I'm just waiting for this to switch back here, guys. As it switches to another character's POV at this point. Alright, let's switch over now. There we go. This is where we need to be for the next section of this. Oh, okay, we need to investigate that, it looks. Sorry, I forgot to turn that on. We can always go back and replay the lines.
Although only a sliver of your
Cheer up, young lady.
honor, courage, tenacity, sacrifice, and finally, the only thing that remains is reason.
Cheer up, young lady. There is no need to shed tears over a glorious death.
All farewells in this world are sorrowful, Lord Nias.
No, young lady. As a warrior, I have witnessed too many bitter deaths. But now, all I feel is peace. I did not know until this moment that mortals could live their lives in such a way.
Your soul remains. You remain so optimistic. Or maybe the truth is that you aren't able to feel sorrow anymore.
To be honest, I don't know either. But I am certain of one thing. This is not an acceptance of death nor apathy toward it. It's not even a feeling of despair. I am just enjoying what remains of my life to the fullest.
Enjoying?
Indeed. Along this journey that we've taken together, not only have I changed the world, I myself have also changed in the process. And now I have reached the journey's end. When I look back and see the grand epic that I have personally written, how could I not revel in that fact?
But when you depart the mortal realm, won't all of your accomplishments be reduced to nothing? Separation and death are two sides of the same coin. Reconcile
first time I returned from the battlefield, I felt extremely hollow. The calamity had devoured everybody on the battlefield but me. When I returned to the city alone, the citizens held a banquet for me that was far from pleasant. I felt as though I was still on the battlefield, and the person who had returned was nothing but an empty shell. It was late into the night by the time the banquet ended, my head still reeling. I returned alone to the barracks. On the way back, I encountered someone. It was a crazed scholar looking at the night sky and muttering to himself by the side of the road. Although I tripped over him and fell, I wasn't angry in the slightest. And maybe because I saw myself in him, I inexplicably asked him a question. Do you think that it'd be better if we just died on the roadside like a couple of stray dogs? To my surprise, he shrugged his shoulders and sighed.
How does someone who is currently experiencing death, dying and living, offer the same bliss? Now please go away and don't block my starlight.
Are you trying to say that there is no difference between living and dying? For they are both journeys that lead toward death?
That's exactly what life is, and death is, but a scale to measure how valuable the journey was. Journeys and epics are only glorious and magnificent because all things eventually fade to dust. Therefore, young lady, don't detest your fate. Instead, willingly and respectfully embrace it.
The embodiment of strength, telling me about the majesty of the world.
Indeed, I believe that when the fated moment eventually arrives, you will be able to understand my words. It is time for me to knock on death's door. I will set up a long table at the end of the road and humbly await your arrival. When that moment finally comes, let us drink and be merry then.
I knew this day would eventually come. To both of you. Ready?
That's deep and sad.
Tell me, what exactly are we? Use it.
Unfortunately, I am not compatible with the Supreme Being, so I was unable to completely fuse their soul into my own body. However, being able to glean all this from them is exciting enough. I'm certain of this now. Before the Titans that we are well acquainted with were born, a group of heroes roamed the land. These heroes followed a prophecy and took possession of divine authorities one by one, until they eventually became the pantheon of the New World. Just like the flame-chased journey of today, Amphorius' history is cyclical in nature.
What a startling revelation. This means that the demigods, who bear the core flames, will also become the new titans at the world's end, thereby shaping a new world?
I believe that this is the truth behind the Era Nova as mentioned in prophecy.
This is utterly unbelievable. Besides, those twins in the past, even if they really are Thanatos, their whereabouts are still unknown even today.
Are their whereabouts truly unknown? Didn't Polixia mention that seaside town, the birthplace of alchemy and the tale of the dragon? In our world, there exists a city which perfectly matches that description. Styx.
But the people there worship Medusa and bear no relation to Thanatos. I've also never been to that place, as in the time in Idonia, it had long turned into underwater ruins.
Take this.
This is...
The Forest's masterpiece, the Philosopher's Stone. It was made by transmuting all of the sage's wisdom into a single entity, with their flesh and blood as its foundation. Remember, I've mentioned before that the art of alchemy is all about conversion, tempering, and ascension. This process also applies to the pursuit of truth. Regardless of how unbelievable this sounds, the truths of the world have been refined from the impurities. Think about the story of the dragon. This stone will lead you to your real hometown, allowing you to reform the door to the Netherrealm and discover Thanatos' fate.
You still look as confident in your victory as ever. But what if your conjecture is wrong?
Simple. I shall merely admit to the entire world that my experiment is a failure. However, my line of thinking will not fail because I have already planted the seeds of doubt into the hearts of the masses. Actions speak louder than words, Casters. With the assembly about to begin, don't forget the promise you've made.
I've already searched for so long. I'm willing to try one more time. While we converse, his life is also slowly slipping away. But before I leave, I have another question. What exactly did we witness just now?
That was the world imprinted in Kefali's soul. If we are to prove its existence, you must take the final step. Go. Do not disappoint me.
I understand.
Hey, child of humanity.
Don't get antsy. I still remember the question you posed to me. As a scholar, I do not wish to offer up ambiguous conclusions. Let's discuss this topic again when she manages to find the evidence.
I merely wanted to ask, was that stone transmuted from your heart? If so, rebirth is no longer an option for you.
Why not? When I was a child, I lost someone dear to me. When I was a teenager, I lost my faith. A while back, although you saved my life, I also lost my soul in the process. Now I'm merely forsaking my body. What's the big deal?
Why are you always finding ways to die? Isn't it good to be alive?
This is but a necessary sacrifice on my path to transform into the purest of them all.
Can someone who's dead even claim to be the purest of them all? Furthermore, if your hypothesis is proven correct, does it not just confirm that the myths are true, and thereby invalidate all your theories?
No, it's just the opposite. If my hypothesis is correct, it means that I can actually ascend to godhood and reshape this absurd world that you all have created.
Oh, back to Callus's POV, I guess.
That's a lot to take in at once.
Lady Aglaya, please, let me explain.
Go on.
You know that the core flame of death has always been the greatest unknown regarding the Era Nova, which is why both you and Kainos desire to gain the power to control that core flame in the approaching Citizens' Assembly. Professor Anexa has come to a consensus with Kainos. They want to suspend the trial once Thanatos' core flame is reclaimed, hoping thus to eradicate death from this world. If they're successful, then the flame chase journey will cease, and Akama can enjoy everlasting peace. But I know this runs counter to your wishes. So long as we do not usher in the Era Nova, the Black Tide will never be eradicated. Even with more mighty on the front line, and the Black Tide not posing an immediate risk, the danger nevertheless remains. Honestly, it's difficult for me to assess the pros and cons in this decision. But someone must bring the core flame before we can begin negotiations over it. The Titan could be very near. I cannot let this chance slip by. Besides, someone has to make this trip to bring back Mr. Soul.
Well said. You already had every reason to seek an audience with Thanatos. It's that great buffoon who has weaponized your wishes and placed us in this difficult situation. A world without death. Do you desire that too?
If fate dictates that my path must oppose yours, I will do all I can to resist it and protect
I
what
could
I
have
aspire
had
to
that.
achieve.
Welcome, guys. We are just going through more Star Rail 3.0 right now. Right now we are currently in Anaxa and Castorus's part of the story. And we are about to go retrieve Kalus's soul.
Lord Mighty showed me that without taking the first step, all talk of what follows is moot.
Not sure what to say, but offer a smile. You've changed. Castorus, you've changed.
I have always hoped to hear you speak your mind, Cass, and I am glad to have heard your true thoughts. Styxia.
I
I visited that place in the past. Though it is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, it's not hard to see its full splendor. Go. I will not stand in your way. As for you, you are someone who has cheated death. I believe you have more than enough reason to make the trip with Castris and meet the god of death himself. Castris, I too look forward to your journey. I wonder what kinds of new interpretations your completed story will bring to the Flame Chase journey.
Thank you, Lady Akaya.
I hate to put a damper on this heartwarming moment, but if Styxia is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, then how do we find a way here? Lady Tribbie is probably...
The answer is quite simple. In the moons, Zagreus once made the domain of the dead their treasure vault. That is to say, they could enter and leave the Netherrealm as they pleased. And if they could do that, then it follows that the demigod who inherited their divinity must be capable of the same. I'll see you at Memorial Palace at Action Hour tomorrow. Cypher shall be your guide to finding that ancient city.
Yep, so she did become Zagreus's replacement. Tumultuous Day finally comes to an end. Oh, sorry, everyone disappears. I didn't catch the rest of that. Alright, while we're here, let's go here and turn in Ambrosia to see if we can get some more rewards unlocked. Oh nice, let's see, that is 30, 60, that is 90 more jade, which is very nice. There's 3 more levels of it left. So for those that are here, we are starting with continuing the 3.0 story in Star Realm of Amphorius. Just because when I went to do a bit more of it last night, it was fairly late and I could not actually do too much of anything at the time. The upper hand is ours. We thrashed them, we tied with the Council of Elders. I want to go with the more silly one.
You sure know how to look on the bright side. Well, moving on. I was hard at work even while you were at the debate. I borrowed a mountain of books from Cass to see if I could find a way to solve your problem. Let's see. I still have only 32 books to go.
Ma'am.
Really? Oh, that's fantastic news. I knew it. Hard work always pays off. Especially if you're as diligent as Mem. I feel like a huge burden has finally been lifted off my shoulders. Why are my eyelids so heavy?
She's actually talking in words and not just saying her name. Although that was adorable as hell, with the way a woman's voice that does her sounds. As was their custom, men with astonishing dexterity slipped back into their secret little hideaway.
The word sleep does not exist in this fiction. No one can
me from Tribbie.
I just kind of want to see if there's anything else I can potentially find. Especially like more chests for Jade. There's one. I'm just gonna run around Akama here a little bit to see if I can find any more chests or any puzzles or anything to get some more Jade for passes. Since I do want to get Saber, but I'm also trying to hold off till Castrus's rerun before grabbing her. I'd already done at least 10 or 20 pulls for Saber without any luck. I would have had a lot more to try to pull her and then save up for Castrus had I not pulled for fight, but I might pull the new physical just because of the way Finan's character is. Obviously I'll do the trials when they switch over, just for the Jade, but I'll see what their page says when you do the trials for what their abilities are. If she'll be a viable character to pull for as well.
Inspection complete. Nothing suspicious.
Well, at least we found 2 or 3 chests at the moment. I think we did this one. Yeah, that was Mighty and Finon talking. There's a lot more music to get here. Get all these recipes for now. What is that other one? Mysterious gift. Oh, that's a mysterious gift small. When I have 15 again, I should grab the large gift. And then obviously the music. Of course, you go to catch that one. Oh, okay, we gotta watch where it lands each time it looks. You're so awesome, I definitely can't keep up. You're not going to eat me, alright? Don't eat me, I'm dead, wah! Alright, there's that one finally cut. Glad I finally realized what the gimmick was with that. I have heard that her ability is supposed to help you find chests. Let me look at that in her details and everything and see what it actually says. Alright, it does.
This is your team tonight. This is your team tonight.
Okay, it shows up on the map. Alright, so there's 3. This is the closest one to us. There it is. Okay, and the next one was across the way on the other side. Grab that for some healing. Oh, wait a minute. Our last one was down here. This looks like the tree at the top. Yep. Alright, we are a little off target for it. There it is.
This is your team tonight.
Okay, 2 more down there and 1 over here. It looks like there's another spear there. Oh, wait a minute. Well, that one was very clearly high up and out of sight, out of easy sight, I should say. Could use more of those. Have we done this fragment here? I'm just going to quickly go through this. I'm not going to bother reading it right now, because I'm not sure. We may have done that one. I didn't see if it had said that we were collecting it or not. Oh yes, the spear. Okay. That looks like that is up the other, like, sort of ribbon-esque structure here. Yep. Alright, spear, where did you wind up? There you are. to, we're down here. So maybe I'll look into his before we stop. Sure to find them. I'm gonna go through here. You're back in here, aren't you? Yep.
Danger detected. But never let your guard down.
Actually, let's at least throw Cypher in there to have someone from this content. But I'd love to have casters to do this. Or even one of the next two. Not even being opposed to mine, I didn't find him to be a bad character. I know you're not in here. Yeah, I gotta go this way. And you are in this section here, way down here. Oh, Cass.
Is your skin also as cold as ice?
Is there something we should discuss? Let's chat. I'd love to, although I very rarely converse with others. I am not gifted with communication. Please do not be offended. Lately my impression of you has changed. Oh, really? If I might ask, when and because of what did your impression change? When we went to the Grove, you're good at taking care of people's emotions. You're much more interesting than my first impression of you. I'm glad you think so. I spent much of my life in seclusion bearing the curse of death, so it's been a long time since I made new friends. Perhaps my initial impression does come across as cold. Lady Glad once advised me to be gentler and more amiable in my demeanor, but people either avoid me altogether or treat me with great reverence. This distance is not so easily bridged. Let me take your words as encouragement, and I hope that in the near future you'll see even more welcoming changes in me. What do you like to do normally? Read books, visit graves, admire flowers, and make ornaments. Let me see what you made. I made all of these butterfly and flower accessories on my dress. I have read all of the books in the Aqua archives. I prefer books on history and culture. My favorite story is about a princess that becomes a dragon. Please do not laugh at me. A legend is a precious crystal that is born over the course of millennia. Take the famous Titan mythology of Amphoreus. If you have time to learn about it, you will be shocked by its vastness and exquisite detail. As for visiting graves, many of the deceased around the graveyards of Akama were personally embalmed by me. I periodically go to their tombs. The dust, I'm not sure why, but I'm always concerned that somehow they cannot rest in peace. Making ornaments is how I preserve things of beauty, such as butterflies or dried dried flowers. I sew them onto special silk fabric so they look like they never lost their lives. I learned sewing techniques from Lady Aglaia to ensure that I do not damage them in the process. I could gift you some in the future if you'd like to have some. The people of Akma seem to fear you. They cannot be blamed for this. I am the mortician in the holy city. I was also once the holy maiden who oversaw warfare in Idonia. In their eyes I am no more than a walking envoy of death. I'd like to hear your story. Be a little more sentimental than that. I have no memories of the time before I came to Idonia. From what I'm told, I was merely a drifter who wandered the wastelands until Idonia took me in. Idonia is a city that worships Thanatos. Its residents regard death as their destined end. Unlike the Kryptonans longing to die in battle, the Idonians see death as the blessed final destination for life. However, that does not mean that Idonians do not treasure life. On the contrary, they believe that it is only by living a long life and tempering oneself will one gain a soul tenacious enough to cross the river of souls and meet Thanatos. The Idonian found me in the wilds. They strongly believed that I had received the blessing of the Death Titan, that my hands could spare them from the river of souls and send them straight to the great Thanatos. So I was revered as the Maiden of War. Only I could grant the deceased Idonian warriors the comfort and respect that they deserve. Tell me about the Titans. I never would have thought that you were also interested in the mythological tales of Amphorius, mister. As luck would have it, I have collected many interesting stories over my long years. What kind of tale would you like to hear? For historical accounts, you'd probably be less offended if you wanted to hear an actual account as opposed to gossip and rumors. I fear you may be disappointed. The majority of Amphorius history comes from bards recounting stories of ancient times. These stories are then recorded into words by third parties. Distortions of the truth are inevitable. Perhaps the story that best fits the description of a formal historical account in the myth of Amphorius, creation that the Bath sprites have been telling. However, I have other interesting stories that I could share with you, that is, if you do not mind. For instance, the story of Zagreus. Legend has that Zagreus used to enjoy playing pranks on the other gods, stealing Talantin's scales and Fagusa's wineglass. To put an end to their misdoings, the gods fastened a star to Zagreus' body to reveal their whereabouts at all times. Another story that I have heard is that the Titan Fagusa and Georius cannot stand each other. Legend states that when it rains in Amphorius, this is actually Fagusa taunting Georios after having gotten Aquila drunk. Georius formed an alliance with Circes to have pledged shelter the land and block Fagusa's endless waves of rain. There are even more bizarre legends than these. It is said that Nicodor did something to Talantin, which is... My apologies, I got caught up in my stories and ended up rambling. I'm so sorry to have wasted your time. I rarely get an opportunity to speak so freely with a friend. I am truly grateful. And all I can say now is that that's all the time I have. Okay, fair. Let's talk again when we get a chance. Oh, nice. That gives us another memory shard. Chest is over here. But yeah, I would like to get Saber, and I still want Castris, but I am thinking of getting one of the two new characters I'm dropping. I just wish I didn't have to have dropped about 70 passes just for Finan. So I'm nowhere near to the point of trying to level him up. I do think you can activate. So that must have potentially been the last one in the city there, I guess. Alright, if you've been enjoying this and you would like to help support me in the stream, you can either sub, or there is a tip link in the about, and further down there's a donation button in the panels. You can click either of those to tip any amount, $1 and up, if you are not able to sub. Anything anyone can give is greatly appreciated. It helps me, and especially because I think I might be needing a new PC soon. Well, that's enough side for now. I just wanted to grab some more of the chests that I was missing and get some more story going. So let's actually continue on now.
It's been a long day. Time for a good rest. Good night, Mama. Good night, Akama. It is nighttime. Right?
Cass? What a surprise.
Well, that's right. For those that don't know, the doll there is one of Tribbie's 3 parts that used up its divinity and returned to a doll.
Lady Tribbie. Is something troubling you? I just wanted to speak to Lady Trian for a bit before I set off. No matter how breathtakingly beautiful Styxia once was, the place is now the domain of the departed. There is no telling what we'll encounter there. I don't want to have any regrets. Has anyone told you that your eyes are sparkling today? Is that a figure of speech? In the past, when you did smile once in a while, all of us could see that your heart remained troubled even as you smiled. Lady Tribbie, you know perfectly well that see you tomorrow is nothing but a white lie. I hope your toughness is not a mask hiding a lonely heart. Cass, you hardly ever talked of your past. None of us knows what you went through, apart from Maggie. But we know it must have been filled with pain and hardships, as it is the fate every Chrysosaur is destined to live out. We are just happy for you that the core flame you're meant to inherit has finally surfaced. Isn't it a little too soon to say that? But you already know where tomorrow is, don't you? There's no need to rely on anyone else. Just give it your all and leave no regrets. We have always believed that your embrace is just as warm as everyone else's. Because we embrace others to comfort them. And Cass, you're the kindest Chrysosaur we know. Thank you, Lady Tribbie. This feeling, it's hard to put into words. I suddenly found myself with so many wishes. So much I want to accomplish before setting off. Then go do it, Cass. Trian was actually working on a surprise gift for you. to give it to you. So, let's meet back here when you return from Styxia. Safe travels. See you tomorrow.
At the same time.
I can't sleep. What could it be?
This looks like a suitable place to put the mysterious object you bought from the wooden horse. Though you still have no idea what is inside this crate, do you want to tear it open? With great anticipation, you tear open the crate and find a giant sea seal doll. Now, you recall someone referring to this species as the divine beasts of Fagusa. Maybe placing a doll of a divine image in your room will bring good things your way. Oh, cute. There's still a large box from them we can get for 15. But I ran out of fragments getting recipes and things.
I hope I didn't make you.
Is it another mission from a client? Sleep is a luxury when you are at my age.
Huh? No. No. I'm here because of private matters, actually. If it isn't too much to ask, I'd really like it if you could come along with me to retrieve something. Not to worry, it's nothing heavy.
Darn, I was just trying to advance it down. I didn't realize I was picking something right there after hitting. As it hadn't shown up yet.
The streets are packed.
I want to vote. Tell me how I can vote.
Take your sign, Shara, engraved with the Catholic rune. Select the Council of Elders in your heart